Joining me today to discuss cybersecurity is Benga Erinle, who is the CEO of Ultra Electronics 3ETI. Welcome, Benga.
Good to be here, Sid.
Industrial cybersecurity is very broad. I cover that, and it's a very, very broad area with lots of different kinds of solutions. So to start off this discussion, could you please tell us a little about your companies, your position in that market, and what you focus on?
Oh, well, very good to be here. Thank you again for the opportunity. So, Ultra Electronics 3ATI is part of a billion-dollar group, the Ultra Electronics family, based out of Greenford, UK. We have a legacy in defense, security, transport, and energy. My business, 3ETI, has a long legacy of securing systems in the military. And so security is really our strength. And so as we come into the industrial markets, really trying to learn this market, and as we study the market, what we see is that it's all about improving business performance. It's about enhancing efficiency in operations. And the challenge that everyone's looking at is how to deal with this cyber thing. And as we look at it and as we talk to leaders, what we try to focus them on is, hey, let's not worry about cyber for a minute. If we could remove that problem and make it go away, what types of opportunities, what type of initiatives could you really pursue to drive growth in your business? And if you're able to find a lot of those, then what would be the value of those incremental initiatives, okay, to you? Now look at the cyber problem. If a company could make that go away, is that a worthwhile thing to pursue? So in my business, what we try to do is we help leaders to remove risk related to cyber. And that's what we do by securing their critical systems to allow them to do what they're really there to do, which is run their business, make money, drive efficiency.
You know, one thing that I see in my research is that companies are struggling. A lot of companies have bought a lot of cybersecurity things, but they're struggling to maintain them and deal with it. They just they can't sustain their security posture. Is this something that you see in your discussions with companies, and is there something your company offers to help with that?
Right, we do. Cybersecurity in a lot of ways is the great unknown. Everybody knows they have a cyber problem, but they struggle to codify what it really is. In my business, and again with our legacy in defense, we believe that security, and true security, is end-to-end security. You know, every parent, when you raise your kids, what's the first thing you teach them? Don't talk to strangers. However, in the automation industry, we have a lot of devices on the network that are critical to running plants, running automation systems, and these devices will talk to anybody, okay? Which is not good. Devices shouldn't talk to strangers, okay? And in this industry, what we do is we tend to do a good job of protecting our personal computers, the servers that run the historians and the HMI systems. However, when you get to the actual controllers, the devices that get you connected to the physical side of the network, we protect those things with firewalls. We sort of draw a big boundary around them and say, we're keeping the bad guys out. The problem is, if you get beyond that firewall into the fence line where the controllers are, those devices will talk to anybody. And so if a command goes to a controller to spin faster than it should, it will do it because that's how they're designed to operate, okay? But no one should be having computers or devices connected to networks in this 21st century to run while talking to strangers. 3ETI builds a device, my CyberFence product portfolio, that helps your devices, your control systems, to listen to communications only from people or from devices on the network that are allowed to speak to them, and to accept information that they are supposed to accept. If you ask a machine to spin faster than it should in a time frame it's not supposed to, it'll just reject that command. So it's all about attack surfaces, and this is why a lot of these companies are struggling to grapple and solve this cyber problem. They don't know how to limit what the adversary can attack. We do with our cyber fence, we offer you the capability to obscure your devices on a network. You can't see what you can't attack. Okay, so we can obscure your devices on the network, and then even if you're penetrated, one of your operators gets compromised, we can control who is allowed to talk to who. It's a new way of securing, but really it goes back to the old adage. True security is end-to-end security.
I like your analogy very well with the child. I like that analogy. Very good
Absolutely,
analogy.
absolutely.
Another thing I see with my clients is there's a convergence, that they want to drive convergence between their OT and IT groups and activities. Is that something you're seeing in your interactions with customers? And if so, is that something that you can help them with?
Yes, so that's one of the long-running knife fights that goes on. The OT guys very often don't see that the IT guys really understand their domain, and the IT guys really want to constrain what the OT guys can do with IT-related tools. I think it's important that that convergence happen. OT guys are very good at running automation systems, and they understand things that IT guys are going to struggle to understand for quite some time. However, all the OT systems today are leveraging the benefits of IT. Okay, every control system today, every controller, PLC, DCS system, they're all based on computers. Okay, IT guys have a lot of value to provide, but they have to understand what OT is in a sense. So what my business does to really help bridge this divide is we do a lot of webinars. Okay, there's an education aspect that's very critical. Okay, the OT guys have to come to understand cyber risk. They don't have to be IT guys, but they have to understand risk so that when there's an alarm on my HMI, okay, is that alarm because some valve or actuator is malfunctioning, or is it because somebody is hacking me? Okay, IT guys can look at data on the IT side and they can get an indicator, okay, that there could be a problem, which the OT guys may typically overlook. So it's all about helping both sides to understand the risk. Okay, the IT guys need to understand that when a firewall blocks something, it could affect the process, okay, which could be very costly. So these webinars that we do very often, quarterly at a minimum, okay, are part of our contribution to that. But then beyond that, it's also working with the OEMs, the major manufacturers, to try to drive security into their products so that when these products are bought, they're not having to be overlaid with additional security tools. OT wants to do the right thing, okay, but when the tools available to them leave them vulnerable, and then IT begins to constrain them, you have this divide. So we're working with OEMs to try to embed technologies like CyberFence into their devices so that you buy solutions that are inherently secure. And then the last thing we're doing, again, as part of the education campaign, is helping IT and OT to understand that you can buy solutions like our CyberFence products that can be overlaid over these legacy systems, okay, without changing their operational processes, without affecting performance, okay, and it can secure the communications. I can ensure that commands, whether they're Modbus commands that are being transmitted across a network, are only being accepted when they should, or we're only getting through when they should. And then any of the security issues that may pop up on the OT network is transmitted to the IT guys, not flooding your control network, affecting performance. So our approach is education, 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 work with the OEMs to help begin to solve the problem and provide a path to securing legacy. I think if you can continue to work all those three in harmony, I think we have a chance to bridge this divide.
Yeah, very good. One of the things we see with a lot of our clients is that they're using the term disruptive technologies. I mean, there's a lot of things developing today, and companies want to take advantage of those. What kind of disruptive technologies do you think present the biggest cyber risks to companies, and what can you do to help with that?
So that's a really good one. It's what I said at the beginning of our conversation here. There will always be disruptive technologies. I mean, if you go all the way back to the Industrial Revolution, with the invention of machines and mechanization, Okay, I'm sure there are those who went, this is a crazy idea back then, right? And then you got the car, and now we can't live without these things. Well, look at computers. Just in the last 30 years, they've completely changed how we live. So the next big thing, I believe, in the industrial markets is the reliance or the push towards the industrial Internet of Things, as well as the advanced analytics, excuse me, that enables. With advanced analytics, you're able to digest a lot of information and make much smarter, better decisions to drive efficiency in your operations. The IIoT allows you to connect just so many things. You can get the best information timely to do what you've got to do. The problem is, the more you connect, the wider your attack surface, the more ways I can get in to disrupt what you do. So while there's value in these technologies and these solutions, they create inherent risk in the cyber realm. Our business, again, like I've said in this dialogue, we help you secure these devices. Okay, a lot of folks, no one in their right mind, no matter how many firewalls you're behind, would ever dream of putting a PC on a network and trusting the firewall for its security. You still have software that runs on your computer to help protect it. But all of these IIoT devices, okay, your PLCs and things, because there's no software to protect them, we put them behind walls, and we sort of accept that that's the best we can do. Well, not anymore. Okay, you have products like our CyberFence that help you protect those things, but even beyond that, we have an embedded version of CyberFence that you can embed inside PLCs, and then we have the ability to take some of our software, and we've done this, port it onto IIoT platforms. So whereas the disruption of advanced analytics and industrial internet is becoming more and more pervasive, Ultra Electronics 3ETI is here to help you.
Thank you, Benga. Today we've been speaking with Benga Erinle from Ultra Electronics 3ETI. Thank you for watching.